Welcome back, guys. This episode I am going to be fitting my diesel heater. It is now the 18th December, it's 2 degrees and it's freezing in the van, so I need to try and get this set up so I can do my insulation on the sides, get all that done and stay warm whilst I'm doing the build over December. So I've gone for Chinese diesel heater off eBay. It was £95 and you get the kit with that. In the last van I had one pre-built in the van. It come with the van and it was an expensive one. I'm not even going to try and pronounce the name because I don't know it. I don't want to look stupid, even though I already do. But it was about a £600 one. I didn't fancy forking out £500-600 for one in this van. Everyone goes on about the Chinese diesel heaters, so I decided to go for one because there's that many people that use them. They must be good. Now in the kit you get the pipeline, which is really flimsy, and I've heard lots of stories about the swelling and basically coming loose, and then you've got diesel leaking everywhere. So I went to B&Q. It's up in the air because I've put conduit running through the ceiling, and I've used this to feed through the conduit so I can tape my wires and stuff to the end of this and just pull all the wires through. In a minute I will take these together and then use this one as my aid. So I've got this from B&Q. It's a lot thicker, a lot sturdier, and I think it's going to be a lot better. So yeah, I'll go through now and install this and show you how I've done it. So there's the whole set. That's everything that comes with it. And this is the turret plate that you get with the kit, but I highly recommend purchasing a better turret plate. That goes flat on your floor, then all the pipes and stuff come through there outside under the van, so it's better to have a bigger turret plate where that protects everything. So it protects your floor and your insulation if it's being fitted on top, and it will protect all the fixings and stuff underneath when it goes underneath the van. Highly recommend that. Much better quality than this. Ideally, for the hole for the turret plate, it would be better having a hole saw the right size. Unfortunately I haven't got one of them and I don't fancy forking out £20-30 for one. So what I done was, the bottom of the turret plate that goes through, it's the same diameter as a bowl that we had. So I drew around the bowl and then put a few holes in around the edge and then jigsawed it out. Nice and simple. All good. Now I've just got to rub down the edge, rust treat it and then seal it. So I've connected the turret plate to the diesel heater and all the holes are pre-made anyway, so it just slots on nicely. I've connected my intake and the exhaust and they simply go on with the clips, not a problem. And if you're wondering which one goes where, intake is the one next to the fuel line here, and then the exhaust is the furthest away from the fuel intake there. You wouldn't have them two next to each other. So the air intake, again, Jubilee clipped on. You got your fuel line there, and this is the exhaust. I will add that on shortly, but I've got to set my pump and everything along the back of here first. So I need to make sure I've got enough of the fuel line. So all good. With these as well, if you kind of see at the back here, this little thing here is a hole. So when the exhaust goes through underneath the van, this is the way you have it, because then if there is any puddles or anything, it all comes through this little hole at the bottom. See if I can turn it so you can. Bit of a pain with it. Already on. Stop moving. There you go. The little hole there, and that'll just release any fluids in any way. Because you hear a lot of people online saying the exhaust is making like some sort of bubbling sound, and that is because it's upside down and this hole is actually at the top. So you always make sure this is at the bottom. Okay, all good. So that's set up now. My hole is already made. Around here I've foil taped everything, so all my insulation, my buttons, everything is all foil taped underneath there to make it airtight and to protect it from the heat as well. Should be okay anyway because of the turret plate coming all the way through, which is what I was saying about the better turret plate, because otherwise you'd have all the heat getting to everything underneath there, and that's not really what you want. So I literally cut out a hole with a jigsaw because I never had a big hole saw. I didn't fancy forking out for one, so I used the jigsaw. Then I battened around it. I've got battens coming around here which the turret plate will screw into. Then obviously I'll cut this out as well. So all good. So with the kit you get the fuel tank, and majority of people add the fuel pump to the bottom. They'll put a hole in and have it coming through the bottom. Some kits design differently, and some people do it from the side. I'm not going to do that. I am going to go from the top. The way I see it is any movement in the van, any kind of vibrations or anything, you've got more chance of it being weaker at the bottom. If it was to get knocked, or if it was just a leak in general, you're going to get diesel everywhere. So my plan is, bought one of these. You do get one in the kit, which is a bit different to this. You have like a round plate, which then you screw into the top. I'm not going to use that. I've gone for my own one, which you screw into. So the basic logic of this is screw it into the top, and then your fuel comes through the bottom of it. At least then it stops any leaks from the bottom or from the side. So that's the way I'm going. This was off Amazon. I think it was about £3. As I say, you do get one in the kit, but this one was a better quality one. So what we'll do is I'm going to go as close as I can to the hole, so I can get my fingers in to turn the actual bolt that goes inside. Obviously if I come over here, I'm not going to be able to turn the bolt, and it'll be a pain in the butt to try and get a spanner in there as well. So as close as I can to the edge. No going back now. So the kit to this out comes with some bolts which are screwed to the wall, and this also has got the original feeder which comes with it. So this is what's meant to go inside and come out the bottom. Now to me, I would not want that coming through the bottom, because if it's sod's law on my one, that will leak. So the way I see it, go through the top, and that prevents one leak. So got my hole done, nothing's left in there now, they're all out. Keep them separate because I need them. In the corner of my van I've got a little box that I do not touch, so if anything's in here it does not get thrown, so that always stays in the corner, because that also has my lights, so it saves me looking for ages when I come into the van. Just turn the light straight on. Right, back to this now. This now really is too big, so ideally I only want it to come down to the bottom, so I could cut this down. Right, so that's going to come to there, so yay height. So I've cut it down to size now, how I want it. Managed to get the bolts slightly screwed on with my fingers, and then guaranteed in your junk drawer you've got some sort of spanner from IKEA furniture or Argos furniture or anything. So what I've done is I've bent it, and now that will help me screw it on from the inside. So it's fully on now, and I'm as tight as I can, but I haven't got to worry about it leaking. So unless it does that, that is not going to leak. So I'm happy with that. All good. Right, get the lid back on there so no rubbish gets inside. That is the fuel tank ready. I need to get that line back down on. So the fuel pipe is now on. I've left quite a bit on this just to allow to go to the pump. It is ideal to work out where you want the fuel tank to go before you start cutting everything up, so at least then you know how much you need. I plan in here. My sofa's coming along here, and the back of the sofa, when the doors open, this will be there underneath the sofa, then this side will come down, so it'll be on a hinge, so it'll come down, I can open it, fill it up, close it back up, and that'll be covered. So underneath the sofa it'll be covered here and also at the back, but it will be on a hinge system, so it's easier to fill. There is different places where you can put them, and you can get different size ones of these as well, which may help. People say, oh, why don't you connect it to the main fuel tank of the van? No. My main reason for that is because I'll be using red diesel. If you don't know, red diesel is one hell of a lot cheaper than using normal diesel. It's pretty much half the price, so I'll be using red diesel for this. I might use normal, but that is the possibility I'll be doing. And also as well, I don't really want to be connecting fuel lines and stuff like that to the main fuel tank. I don't want to be touching that, because if I mess that up, no, not good for me. So I'd sooner keep it separate, and I'd sooner keep it separate because I wouldn't want to run out of diesel on my main tank. So keep it separate. But yeah, mine's going to be at the back on a hinge system. It'll come down, up, closed, covered, hidden away. So I've got enough here because my fuel pump and the filter are going to be along the back here. These can be noisy, so what I'm going to be doing is I'll be adding a bit of soundproofing around it to try and deaden it out a little bit, because they can be really noisy. So that'll be going along here, and then I shall run some conduit all the way down to where the diesel heater is going to be. I'll run a fuel pipe underneath the van and then into the turret plate. So basically everything now is connected underneath the turret plate. I've ran the fuel line through as well. I've connected that. I've got a hole next to it. I didn't want it too far away. Less chance of it getting caught underneath the van and stuff like that. So I've got it all laid out. It's not fully stuck yet, but it's all connected now. So I've now got to fix the diesel heater in place in the hole, and then I can connect the exhaust and the air filter, intake filter, underneath the van. So that all now is in place. As you can see, where it comes back through the fuel line, it's just underneath, so it's not going to get caught in any way. That's all good. Perfect. All this can get boxed in as well, like the previous one. So the kids will be able to put their feet on top of this as well, because it'll be boxed in. So all good. So I just need to screw this down now. There we go, that's in nice and solid. So I can start connecting all these up. They are all pretty much self-explanatory, and they'll only fit in one way. So these are all straightforward. That clicks into that one. Then these run down. Got another one here, and that one is for the controller. In the set I got given this one. It come by mistake. I didn't want this one. There's no right or wrong way. It's literally on off, and then however much power you want. I didn't want that, so I've decided to upgrade it and go for an LCD one. So again, can only connect to one, so they slot in together. There you go, that's that one connected. And the last one, which is this one, that connects to the fuel pump. I'll do that one shortly, because I've just got to put it around the back of the batteries and stuff. So temporarily, just to check it out, I've stuck the pump onto the bracket. It's got to go on the angle, which allows then it to feed through. So that needs to stay on the angle. So that's all connected. The filter's connected, and so is the fuel pump to the fuel tank. There we go, so the turret has come through. There's my pipe coming through as well, feeding through. My exhaust is pointing towards the back of the van, and the little hole as well, I don't know if you can see it, is at the bottom. I put that on a bracket and then connected it to the strut of the van, so that's facing towards the back, same as the normal exhaust. My intake fan I've cable tied where I can, and that is secure now as well. Opposite way to the exhaust. So I've got my fuel tank, I've got the fuel line going into the top, that comes down to the filter, then that runs then to the pump. Keep it on, it says a 90-degree angle, make sure that's on the angle with the electrics facing upwards. Then the fuel line I've got coming down here, it goes out of the van here, goes down underneath, then comes back up underneath and connected to the diesel heater. That's all secure. Then the electrics runs along here. I've got temporary, put it on here for now, the switch, and now I've just got to hook up my leads if I can find them. So I'll do this temporary. I haven't set up my fuse boards or anything yet, so I just need to make sure all this is working before I start building. There we go. So it's off. I've turned it all the way around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. So it's now going to start pulling it through. It's just now coming up to the pump. There we go, it's now coming through the pump. So I've now put it all the way full power, turned it on. It's running cold for about a minute, and now the pump has just started clicking again, which means now it's taking fuel through. The pump, the diesel heater has now gone quieter. So I'm guessing rather than blowing cold out, it's now trying to change it to hot air. We've got heat. There we go, that is now pumping out really hot air. It hasn't taken long at all for it to come through to heat up. The pump sounds quieter now because the heater's on.